Alright, guys, so I believe you can see the disclaimer here suggesting that all content presented here will be for educational purposes. I'm not soliciting any buy or sell. If you do go on to use the views presented here for your trading or investing, then you yourselves will be liable for your profit, loss, or loss of profit. Now that we are done with the legal disclaimer, we can go ahead and have a quick little introduction. After that, we can move on with the business. So first of all, my name is Nirav, and I am the admin and owner of 50eyes.com, which is a website where I publish my views on the markets, all the major commodities and indices, stocks, etc., etc. If you are interested, then you can go and check my analysis by visiting 50eyes.com, and you can check the various webinars that I've conducted. To be precise, 26 webinars we have already done, and this is the 27th in the series of these monthly applied elite wave webinars. And the way we do these webinars is I go over the charts of crude oil, gold, S&P's 500, Nifty, and sometimes some other stocks or charts if we get the time. So that's the general way we operate in these webinars. And with this 27th webinar, I also have a very good announcement to make here. Over the years, to be precise, I've been publishing my work in public view since 2016, and I've kept a public record of it. So as you can see, my accuracy is 2016, 2017 is also 87, 2018 is 84 something, 2019 is almost 85, and 2020 is 88. So we have been above 80% and almost near to 90% for straight of 5 years. And over the years, I have always gotten inquiries from people if there is a service for active traders. And while I do have my own Slack group and I do publish my trades here for many years, I've been doing it, by the way. The Slack group is filled with messages, just so you can see. This is the Slack group we have, and it already has what you call 22,000 plus messages, wherein I post all my entries and exits and everything with charts and commentary, etc., etc. As you can see on all the major things that I'm following and trading. So over the years, I've gotten inquiries for this Slack group, but so far it has been logged or remained private only to my students. But from this month onwards, I'm looking to take a few of the public audience or people from the public who would want to join in and check things out. Of course, there's a fees involved and everything, and for that you can send the inquiries to my website. Let me show you that quickly so that in case you are interested in that, you can contact me later on via my website. So this is the contact us page, 50eyes.com /contact us. So you can just fill in your details and mention the subject as active trader service, and I will send you the details of what are the pricings, what is included. And we have been doing it for many years. It's just that it has been private, so that I just only get serious people. I don't really want to get involved with retailers who are non-serious and don't understand the business. That's why I've just not messed with it, making just service out of it. But anyways, I'm trying a few new things and seeing how they work out. So here you have it, 50hours.com /contact us. And if you are interested in the active traders service, which as I mentioned is a Slack group as well as my bi-weekly outlook on the markets, which we do live via Zoom meetings. And the things that are included, I think you can already see, are crude, gold, natural gas, Nasdaq, Nifty, S&P's 500, major US stocks, major Indian stocks, and other things as well, Bitcoin, dollar index, DAX, Euro, etc., etc., and global indexes as well. So there's a lot included here already, and I keep expanding my domain as well. So that is not really much of an issue. So with that in mind and that announcement, I'll just leave you guys and move forward with it. Uh, yeah, Lekhraj, how about you just send me an inquiry and we'll take it from there. I can't really clarify all the doubts here, I believe. So, anyways, now that we are done with the announcement of this active trader service, I'll just and we have already talked about the forecast accuracy, which, as I would like to mention again, is sort of the highest in industries in what I have seen over the years. I have not seen anyone keep a track record in public view for this long, 5 years, and this high level of accuracy. So you go ahead and check all that and check the other things, the video course and the training programmality, which are personalized classes, and you can find the details for them over here. This is the video course and training programmality. So enough of those things. Let's move ahead with the webinar. The way we'll proceed is I'll go ahead with the charts of crude oil, gold, S&P, Nifty, Bitcoin, and once I have discussed the view on the chart, I will just wait for you guys to write in the queries or any doubts you may have. Do wait till I finish the commentary from my end, otherwise it disturbs the flow of thoughts. And make sure to keep your questions to the point. That is, the questions should be in regards to what we are discussing or the analysis on the chart itself and not out of it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out this chart of crude oil that we have. And one more thing I'll just like to quickly open up here is last webinar so that we can check whatever we are talking over here. Well, it won't really go in it. Let me restart it. So let's first quickly go ahead and check what the view was on crude oil in the last webinar, and from there on we can draw the context what I was saying, and then try to figure out what happened afterwards. So this is our discussion in the last webinar, and CXABC. Let me quickly check what is the view here. Okay, so I get the point here. So my view here is that either the wave C down is complete or has one leg more down remaining, and once the same is complete, we should see one more leg in the upward direction. So that looks to be my view, and let's see what a shorter time frame view is. So leaving the shorter time frame view because I'm not really exactly clear what that includes. I'll just go with the view that I can see here on screen discussed on the chart in the last webinar, and the view was that this C looks either complete over here or it has one leg remaining. And once this same is complete, we should see a leg to the upside, and if it's already complete here, then we will see an pullback and then leg to the upside. This is what I can conclude from this webinar recording so far. Of course, you can just check, confirm it, and check it at your end later on. But let's go ahead and check the webinar, sorry, the actual chart now. And this recording was published on 28th March 2021. So let's get ahead and go to 28th March. So that would be 26th March, and the publication was on 28th. So at this point, it looks like it was really complete over here, the wave C, and the market did really go up, although not instantly up. It did go sideways first, a leg down for the ABC flat correction, and then a leg up again. So basically, since the market did follow the overall view, which was that wave C is either complete or has one leg down remaining to be followed by one leg up. So the follow of one leg was there. So theoretically, the analysis did follow out, although it was not that simple there where you can just take a trade and make money straight off. It was something which required your own knowledge of Elliott wave, or what you call a follow up. And these webinars are once per month, so there isn't really a follow up unless you are in the group already. So, anyways, let's look at the chart right now and try to figure out what this market is really doing. So, right now, what I am under the belief is that let me go to 4 hour chart, by the way. So I am under the impression right now that we are having this C wave complete over here, where you have the arrow over here, right? And from this point onwards, we have another A, B, and C, right? And once this A, B, and C is complete, there is a bit of unclarity here. That is it going to complete continue sideways for an X, and then another A, B, and C. That is one possibility. Second possibility is that this leg down is complete, there is an ABC up, and then there will be another leg down. So basically, let me draw it out in the rough section or the free area over here. So what I'm saying is that let's say hypo 1. So hypo 1 is in my view that one leg down is complete over here, and then we have an ABC up, and there will be another leg down. So from this point onwards, what I'm saying is that we can have that another leg down. That will be basically saying that the hypo 1 is suggesting downside. Second view that is the one we have is that this leg down, this corrective leg which I have drawn, is not really complete here, right? It is still continuing sideways, and then it will be followed by one more leg up. Let's just say it is continuing sideways, something like that, and then by one more leg up. And once that leg up is complete, only then it will start the fall, right? So in that case, the second case, it can really go near the last high, right? So that basically means the second hypo is suggesting that some upside is remaining, which will be followed by downward movement. So basically, the situation now turns out in crude is that both upside is possible as well as downside is possible, right? So that really basically means that it's sort of a wait and watch kind of market. We don't really have a straight out trade here, to be precise, in like real time on this market. But overall, we can keep these two biases in our mind. And let me see if I had any more clarity on this chart on some lower time frame so that we can discuss. Yeah, in the lower time frame, it also got just more complex. But I kind of have the view that it looks like it has some leg down remaining here. But that's again very short term, and it's something that can play out just in the opening 1 or 2 hours of the market. Not even that long. I'm thinking that it will give a small leg down. So maybe in the opening session, I mean, in the opening 1 or 2 hours on the Monday session, I can just check this out. But as I mentioned on the 4 hour, the directions are possible straight down or sideways and then down. These are the two main analysis I have in mind. I don't think there is anything else to add here. If you guys have any queries, kindly post them in the comment section and I'll revert back on that. By the way, if you guys are clear as well, still just type in clear so that we can move ahead. Hi, Lekhraj, the site is 50is.com. This sound. Yeah, guys, can you just clarify if whatever we just discussed is clear? What about the audience on TradingView? I seem to get rewards from YouTube at least. Okay, so I'm under the assumption that all you guys are clear on it, and in that case, let's move ahead and check the chart of gold. And as we do with every other chart, let's first quickly check out what we discussed on gold in the last webinar around 17th minute. So there we have gold. Yeah, there it is. So on the chart of gold, the last discussion was around 26th March and published on 28th March. So let's just quickly check whatever I'm mentioning over here. Okay, so this one was very clear. I'll just conclude it because I remember whatever is this being discussed over here. Yeah, guys, people on the YouTube stream are able to hear it clearly. So, and the YouTube stream does go via the Trading View stream, right? So, if there is a problem with sound, I think you need to refresh the page, as Paul is saying, because there is no problem with other participants here. Yeah, getting back to the actual discussion, the goal discussion on the last webinar was that we have completed a wave A here, right? And once this wave A is complete, we can just see straight of upside movement, or we can see a sideways movement, right? Because wave B can become as much complex as it wants. And once the wave B is complete, then the new leg up will begin, right? And in all that, I pointed out one thing that whatever this wave B is going to do, it most likely will remain within this sideways range of this box, which I am just drawing, right? And if it goes within the lower region of this box, that is the lower half, then I'll be interested in buying this market with a stop loss below the last low, which was around 1680 or something, right? So this is the exact strategy that I outlined in the last webinar, and I'm just concluding it because I recall all of it, so don't need to check the webinar. You guys can obviously confirm it by going back into the last webinar and checking everything in detail. So once again, the strategy was A is here, B is continuing sideways or having some more downside remaining maybe. Whatever the case may be, uh, we will look for going longs if the market does go down and put a stop loss at the last low. Now moving on with the actual chart of gold. So let me mark out 28, 26th March, right? Yeah, so this is 26th March, right? And the funny thing is, this market really did test our patience here. Let me remove everything. So 26th March over here, right? And the analysis was that this was A and the B is still continuing, right? Or maybe complete here. If it's still continuing, it can go down as well, which is exactly what happened. It went down, and the stop losses in this case were last low, which is exactly what held, right? It did not really breach the last low or even touch it, to be precise. So this market really tested all the patience you have on earth, right? And later on it went and flied high, right? So it pretty much played out precisely as expected. Of course, if you can handle this while the market is doing this much of a downfall or not is up to you. It's a sort of a relying on your own analysis kind of thing, right? That's the reason I keep saying that no matter what you do, what you or who you follow, and no matter how good they are, you need to do your own analysis. Otherwise, you can't always follow it through in the live markets, right? So, anyways, this analysis played out to the point. I would say picture perfect, and the minimum upside target was 1:1. So we would just measure this leg up or for that matter just this whole leg up and projected from this end. So obviously no need to mention it was already achieved. So that is not much of a issue here. The targets were met quite clearly over here. Now what is happening right now is the question. So in the current context, there are a few things that are possibly happening over here. So let me quickly go over them. Right. First of all, from this point of reference, we can say that this is a first leg up, right? Second leg correction, and then the next leg is continuing. So if this is going to be A, B, C, then you know what? Let me be more clear and let me just quickly check the last one. A over here, B over here, one, two, and three, four, five. Okay. So yeah, so the first count that I have is a continuation to the upside, right? In which I'm saying that this is the A over here, and this is then A, B, and C, or B over here, right? And after that, this goes on to become our wave one, because see, in Elliott wave terminologies, in an A, B, C correction, the wave C will have five waves, and those five waves are going to look like this: one up, two down, three up, four down, and five up. So if we go with this one, two, three, four, five formation over here from this point, then the wave one is already complete, and we can assume the two is over here, and one, two, and then three, four, five. So in my understanding, I am on of the impression that this could be the end of wave three over here, and this looks like an A, B, and C for a flat for a wave four over here, right? That would suggest that one more leg up is remaining. That is my sort of main view over here. Of course, the secondary possibility will be that this three is already complete, and this four is already complete, and this is the fifth wave here, right? That is again something you cannot relegate out of this analysis. This becomes what you call counting all the possibilities kind of scenario. So in this particular case, either we have the wave C continuing with one leg up remaining, or it is complete. My bias is, as I just mentioned, that it has at least one leg up remaining for the wave C over here, with the three over here and four over here, and this would be the fifth, right? So I will play the market accordingly. In case you follow up this analysis afterwards, watch this meeting as a recording or something, right? Then you can check both of these possibilities, right? You can just see if it played out with one leg up or it just fell down. If it did play out with one leg up, then of course, once it goes up, the possibility that now that the C is complete, you will now look for shorting opportunities, right? So, as I just mentioned it, even if the whole analysis is not something you can follow, and you check this market a little later on, it will still help you out, because once the wave C is complete, you gotta have one leg down remaining, right? What about long term on gold? Yeah, it's a corrective waveguide, and I have discussed the whole bigger picture analysis, I think, in the last or the last to last webinar. You can just check that one. But I'll just quickly like to confirm with you guys that if you are clear on this small analysis which I just discussed here, right? Just type in clear, and then we can have a quick little look at the corrective wave we are in. Just type in clear so that I know. Hi, Prakash. Okay, thanks you, Philip. Let's move on, and this time I'm seeing that the trading view audience is getting a bit delayed. Okay, Randy Liverpool. Okay, thank you, Knock Trader. Okay, so let's quickly have a look at the bigger picture. I won't be discussing the whole chart here. I'll just quickly look at the last leg down. So from this point of reference, which is the price of 2075 something around 7th August 2020. My view is that we have the first leg down as a W, up for a correction X, next leg down as a Y, right? And this could be the start of a new uptrend because, right, it could just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get the point, right? Just a new impulsive lag in the other direction. That's one thing, right? But we don't need to be so hopeful just yet. There are many other possibilities. Second possibility was that this is just continuing with another X and there will be another leg down Z, right? And the last possibility was that let me check WX and sideways and then down. Yeah, so that pretty much concludes it. The second possibility and the first possibility, I mean, I'm not saying it in the order of bias, like H1 and H2 here are equally biased, is what I'm saying. It's not like H1 here is more probabilistic than H2, which is generally the case. So one possibility is that it has some upside remaining and then down. It could also just go sideways here, by the way, and you get the idea, right? In a range like a triangle or something of a complex sort, and then down. That's one possibility. And the second one was that it will just fly high, which will become apparent on the chart, right? If it's really an impulse, then it will clarify itself. It will show its hand to us. So yeah, I guess that clears it out. Gerd, there isn't much to discuss here, right? Just plain old WXY correction. I guess that clarifies your doubt, right? Okay. So let's check out the next chart, which will be of S&P. And before moving further, obviously, let's check what was discussed in the last webinar on S&P. Yep. So in the last webinar on S&P, my view was that it is forming possibly a diagonal structure. By the way, to those of you guys who watch these recordings later on, always turn the quality to 1080p because of the dark background. It really looks weird. So, anyways, let's check quickly last webinar. Last webinar, yeah. So I recall that I was discussing a possible diagonal formation, and the diagonal formation was in my discussion having one leg up remaining is what I specifically recall. Let me see if I can get to a better point in the last analysis. This one still is not. Yeah, there it is. So my view was that it has at least one leg up remaining, like an A, B, and C, and that was the most bearish view I had. In the most bearish view, we had A, B, and C. So basically, one leg up remaining, and then the fall. And if the bearish view does not play out, then it can of course just keep going up. So that was the last analysis on S&P, and I remember very clearly that I specifically mentioned short-term long trading opportunity, that is intraday long kind of trade here, where you can just wait till this last high was taken out and start booking your profits from your entries over here. So basically, all of that played out, but let's just check that on the actual chart as well. So S&P's 500 is 26 March is what we are looking for. 26, 26, 26. Yeah. So as you can see, it did go up from here, and that was my main count. That even if the market does not have a completely impulsive count, like it will not continue up, then even then it will just go up, take out the last highs a little bit. I mean, move above the last highs for a while and then show a reversal sign and then reverse. And the other view was that it will just go straight up. So, which is the one it has followed. So, I would say it sort of precisely went as expected. And looking at the count right now, there is a little bit of clarity over here. So, let's just discuss that. From this point of reference, which is around what do you call 3720 something, we can say that it looks like an impulsive count to us, and this is looking like the wave 3 over here to me. Now this could be counted in another way, like you can just say that this is not impulse but still a diagonal going up, and you can say that this is the A and this is the B and this is the 1 2 3 4 5 of a C, but that doesn't really change the whole logic that I have here. So that's why I just would like to go with this part, which is the important one at this point in time. So let's just quickly look at that. At this point, I'm just saying that we have a wave 4 here. So yeah, Randy, kindly hold on to your questions until I finish my discussions. That just disturbs the flow of thoughts here. That's the way we operate here. So post your questions after I'm done with the analysis. So yeah, the three is over here. Getting back to the discussion, the three is over here, and the way wave fours are, they are generally complex. So in this particular structure, you can say that we have an A, B, C flat structure, which is the first leg down, second leg up, and the next leg is down. So if you look at this on the real chart, you can say that this is the A, this is the B, and this is the C, right? If we go with that kind of analogy, then we can just say that this will be your 1 2 3 4 5 for the wave 5 complete. So basically, what this is telling us is that we might very well be in the ending stages of this impulse, right? So once this impulse is complete, I will not like to go on the longer time frame here, but from a shorter time perspective, whenever this wave fifth, which I have just mentioned over here, is complete, we will see corrective ABC down, and this corrective ABC down will be bigger in price wise compared to this leg down, right? Is what we generally like to see or like to think. And the second thing that is possible over here, which I'm seeing, is that as I said, wave force can just become more complex and keep continuing the movement sideways, 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 right? And whenever they are done with their oscillations, it will break out for a wave 5, and in that case we can just go long if it continues sideways and becomes a congestion. So basically it is more of a wait and watch kind of market with the short term long trading opportunity, very short term long trading opportunity. It can be even said that this whole trade which I just discussed, this one, can be played out intraday because it isn't a very big target or anything attached with it, right? So short term long trading opportunity, and in the bigger picture we'll just wait and see if there's a bigger congestion over here, then that will be good for us. We can go long once the congestion is complete, and that is all really there is to this market from this point of reference, right? And we can go with either of the counts as we discussed, but that's my main view. Wait for a short term long short term long trading opportunity, and if we go oscillating in a sideways range, then that will again lead to some other kind of trades, possibly buying near the lower part of the range for longs, or waiting for the breakout, depending on how versatile you are with your discussions, with your not discussions, with your understandings of the wave analysis. So that concludes S&P for us. There wasn't a very longer term count that I discussed, and the reason for that is that I've discussed all of them in like almost every other meeting, I believe. So just quickly give us a nod, right? Type in clear if you understand what we just discussed over here. If so, we will move on to the next one. Yeah, guys, just type in clear. If you have a query, you can post that in the comment section. This pattern includes 1 2 3 pattern, and the third pattern has structure inside them. Is that true? Yeah, Randy, all Elliott wave patterns are fractal in nature. So if there's a one up, two down, three up, four down, five up, then one, three, and five will have five waves within them. and same goes for 2 and 4. They will have three wave structures within them. Okay, so I think everybody is clear on this discussion. So we'll just move ahead with the next chart, and let's discuss, what do you say, Bitcoin or Nifty? Which one do you want to go first? Any opinion, or I'll just choose the sequence? Let's just go with the sequence then. Okay, Bitcoin is that. I think we did discuss Bitcoin last time, 4250, and let's check that quickly. Yeah, so Bitcoin, there were two analyses. Let me just go back. Yeah. So first analysis, as you can see on the last webinar's discussion, was that we had an A up, B down, and then there will be a C, and then D, and an E. So basically sideways, and then new high, new lifetime high, basically. Last high was 61,800, by the way. Second analysis was that this is an A, B, and I believe we were having. Let me just check it so that there is no doubt here. Yeah, second analysis was that the A, B, C, D, E. That is, there will be no breaking of the low, right? And in either of these cases, the conclusion was that this market is going to make a high higher than the last high, right? Let me see if there was a third analysis pointing to something else. That is all there was. Sideways and then up, or one leg down and then up. So yeah, that was basically it. So basically, the conclusion was that we are going to see a new high in Bitcoin. Just buy it, right? Not very, what do you call, insightful. Anyways, looking at the actual chart, going to 26, 26, 26. There we have 26th March and Alt V. So it did go exactly as we just discussed, right? From this point of reference, we were discussing in the last webinar. It did go down A, B, C, D, and E. It actually followed the count precisely. I think that was H1 or H2, whatever that was. It exactly just went sideways from 26th March onwards, right? It was somewhere here. Sideways from here, and then it went up to make a new lifetime high above 61,800. It went around 64,900 something. However, the analysis was that it will go sideways and then new lifetime high, but the expectancy was that it can fly much high, right? Which is generally what does happen after a triangle. Mostly the market does go on to make new highs, right? Which does not seem to be the case in this particular case. So there are two things that's possible, that if a triangle does not see a very big move afterwards, then that could be the sign of a long term reversal. That's one case. Or the second case is that this is just something else which is playing out, which is what I'm going to discuss. So just to conclude, there are two hypotheses. First is that if that really did go and break and that was all the high we could see, then it could be a reversal of a bigger degree in nature. And this being Bitcoin, it can go to any levels possible on this chart. So you get the point. It can just go to 30s, 4, 36, or whatever, right? But let's discuss the second view as well, which is the view that it is just still a sideways congestion, right? And from this point of reference, that would make this A leg down, B leg up, and this would be the C leg down. So from a Elliott wave perspective, an ABC correction is what you call three down, three up, and then one, two, three, four, five down. So this is what you call your A over here, right? B is over here, and now that the C wave down has started, we will have what you call five waves inside of it. So we can just roughly count them over here. Looking at the actual chart, you can say that we have a series of ones and twos forming here, right? I think I might have even counted them. Let me quickly have a look at that. I have not really checked the last like completely in detail. However, I was looking at it before this meeting started, and it, in my understanding, held at least one leg down remaining, right? So because there is one leg down remaining, we need to just quickly check some rough ideas of targets. So in general, it can go and end a little bit above the end of wave A, or it can end a little bit below the end of wave A. So both things are possible for a wave C. To be precise, if you really want the targets, then you can just take the measure of this wave A projected from the start of wave C and just mark some levels like this one. So, and the second one will be a little bit above wave A, so we'll take this fib level. So these are just some rough, what do you call, outlooks you can go with. I don't want to be very specific here because there are some cases. Let me just quickly change it to red. So a likely target here could be 45,000 for a possible reversal, not a reversal. Second is around 39,925, roughly speaking. So the reason I don't want to be very optimistic about these levels is, or consider them very seriously, is that there are cases where the wave Cs are extended, and in extended wave C, the market can go down to 200% or of the wave A as well. So that means a deeper wave C is not out of the question completely. That is a possibility, and knowing Bitcoin, it sort of likes to make some wild swings. And so far, it has only been making swings in the upward direction. So I can't really relegate the possibility of this thing happening, by the way. So, as I said, Bitcoin, both things are possible. Just keep in mind that upside wise, it has done the bare minimum. It has completed the congestion pattern, went up, and now it's continuing down. So, longer term reversal is not something I can relegate at this point. It is possible, and but being more optimistic and concluding things with the second bullish kind of scenario, we are like A, B, and C. And as I discussed, 40,000, and the other level was whatever it was. Yeah, it was here, 45,968 or 45,800 something, let's say, and other second was around 40,000. So these are two levels that we know of right now. But as I said, these are not something you should take very seriously. Knowing Bitcoin, it generally does not follow the general guidelines of analysis. So that's about it for Bitcoin, our rough outlook. Right, did follow our last analysis, but did not go as high as we really wanted it to. I guess you guys are clear on it, but just type in clear for confirmation's sake, and we can move on to the next chart of Nifty's 50. Okay, thank you, Philip. So let's look at the chart of Nifty 50. And yeah, before that, I seem to have gotten to a good level of audience at this point in the broadcast. So I like to bring up the point again that those of you guys who were interested in services for active trading can now contact me via the contact us page, which is over here. We have already got a Slack group running for many years. It has been private to the students, but if you are aware a bit of the basics of Elliott wave and you want to take an expert's opinion, or not opinion, I would say, be a part of an experts group, then you can get in touch via the contact us page. Things that are included are the Slack group, which I'll just briefly go over again because I believe this we have some new participants here. So this is the Slack group I operate in. More than 22,000 posts already made with everything, the trade and analysis of all the major pairs: crude, gold, natural gas, and American stocks, S&P, Nifty, Indian stocks, Bitcoin, DAX, Dow Jones, Dollar Index, Euro, USD, and what else, right? The trades are posted here as well as the analysis, right? So everything is done transparently here. Second thing is included with it is our meetings. We meet via Zooms bi-weekly and discuss the markets, how they will perform, and all that. So that is what it's included, and yeah, that would be all for that. Let's now go ahead with the chart of Nifty 50 once again. Yeah, and let's see. One more thing I wanted to point out, in case some of these guys are new audience, then they can learn more about Elliott Wave by going to my video course, the Elliott Wave course, and personalized classes are also offered here. Training program LT. Let's quickly check on what we discussed last time on the chart of Nifty's 50, which was discussed around 3430. So it's a lot of mess I see. Let me see. Yeah, so I get it. So the last analysis was that either the wave 5 is complete, in which case we will only be bearish once it breaks the trend line to the downside and look for selling. And the second case was that is this wave 5 is not really complete here but is having one leg up remaining over here, in which case we would go long once this last high is broken, right? So both analyses were discussed. I mean, both sides of the analysis of this market were discussed. And let's quickly check which one played out and what really happened here after 26th March. So 26th March is over here. Let me quickly mark that out. Right. So after 26th March, I can see that this market really did go down, and this count was not really the preferred count because we were trying to match our counts with the global indexes, the major world indexes. So this is not the one we were hoping will perform, but then again, these are markets; they don't always do things as we hope. Otherwise, everyone will be super rich by now. So it did go on and take its own tone, went out to break the trend lines, right? Both the red trend line and the white trend line, and seems to have set up a price action below the trend line. So it's looking bearish to me still. By the way, I did go short on the break of this trend line, booked profits as well, and I'm still holding some shorts. So because I'm holding shorts, it needs to be clarified that my bias will remain a little bit bearish. I mean, no matter how much you try to remain unbiased, if you have a position that basically just means you are already biased. So, but still, just to discuss both sides of the coin, if the downside analysis is playing out, then there isn't much to discuss here. It's just one, twos, and I mean, you get the point, right? Uh, more downside, right? That's all there is to it. If there is what do you call correction complete here, which I still doubt, by the way, because it looks like it has some unfinished business. It never really broke properly to the downside, even though it did pass out the channel and the trend lines, right? So at this particular point, that would mean that this can be looked at into this parallel channel, and we can just say that near this end of this channel, we are taking support, and this is some sort of ABC correction or a complex WXY correction. I don't want to get into the details of it because unless it really breaks higher than this high, which is the level of about 14,700, there is no good reason for us to entertain these thoughts, right? That is only above 14,700 would we be interested in looking for possible long opportunities in this market, right? And who knows, maybe that also is a deception. Maybe it's still forming those uh, two wave correction and then it falls. So as I said, it's a bearish market so far. If you have booked some profits already, then and you are already short, then that won't be a unwise idea to remain short on this market. Obviously within the range of the profits you have made, that is only risking what you have made. But if you are looking to enter new shorts, then I would remain a bit cautious here because it can give a deeper pullback, as I just mentioned. It can go a little bit too up and then down, right? So that's just my view on it. As I said, I am a bit biased here. So that's just one view I have. And the second view, as I just said, was if it does really go above 14,700, then we will start counting the secondary view where we can say that this is a possible correction complete here, and then it could be going up from here. That will be the second review for quick reference for you guys, right? So that's all for my quick look on Nifty's 50, and that also concludes this whole discussion where we are to go over these regular charts of crude, gold, S&P, Nifty, and BTC, and that's about it, guys. And before we conclude things officially, I'll just like to request you guys to share this whole meeting with your friends and colleagues, whoever are interested in the markets, right? And of course, I am of the belief people will benefit from it. And if you guys are not yet aware, I've been doing these webinars for more than 2 years now, and I keep a track of whatever I say. And my accuracy for last 5 years, as you can see here, has been greater than 80%, and it's for 5 years, and it's publicly published here. So there is no doubt in my mind that this is probably the best in the industry so far. So I would appreciate if you guys share it with your friends or colleagues, at least five in your group. That way we can get more audience, and more participation means that I can continue doing these webinars in the days to come, right? Secondly, if you guys are interested in learning, then you can check out the courses, the video course, Elliott Wave course, and training program. LT is a personalized classes that is we get to meetings on Zoom and we discuss possibilities of the market, right? That you can check. And thirdly, as I just mentioned a while ago as well, that for active traders and active traders only, we are opening up the Slack group for a while, right? And this Slack group has all the major pairs that we are looking for, that anyone can look for trading, right? So if you are interested, you can just check it out, or I mean make an inquiry for it, and I will let you know what the details for all this is. For the inquiries in this regard, you can go to 50eyes.com/contact dash us, and type in the subject matter as active traders service, and I'll get back to you with all the details. And as always, just share it, and keep joining in the live meetings so that we have more interactions and we can continue doing this stuff. And thank you for being in this whole 1 hour session, and I hope you have a good time, and see you again next time. Thank you guys, and bye.